Hi, I'm Steven.
And I'm Kenan, and we work for iCan Shine. Steven's a bike technician and I'm a floor supervisor for the iCan Bike program.
While we provide the bikes your riders will be using during the iCan Bike program, an important part of our program is transitioning your riders from our bikes to their family bikes so they can feel comfortable and confident to start practicing immediately following the program.
We're here to provide our recommendations for suitable bikes for new riders.
One overall tip to remember, regardless of what bike your rider chooses, as long as they like it, they feel comfortable on it, and the bike is easy to ride, then they will spend more time on the bike. The family bike is where the rider will generalize the skills they learn at our iCan Bike program, learn new skills, and explore new terrains.
During the course of this video, we'll be discussing some common questions that arise when selecting the right bike for your rider. These questions are, do I need to buy a bike? What size bike do I need? What features do I need to look for? Where do I get a bike? And how much should I expect to spend if I buy a bike?
Because you are watching this video, we are assuming that you're representing a future rider at one of our programs and have a basic understanding of how the program works. If not, visit our website to learn more about the program.
By providing you with this information, we're not trying to convince you to buy a new bike. You may already have a bike that works for your rider. Our intent is to give you the knowledge of what makes a bike suitable for learning and why. So whether you choose to bring a bike from home or purchase a new one, we'd like you to bring it in on Monday of the program. Our bike technician will have the rider sit on the bike to be sure it's appropriate for your rider. Bringing the bike early will allow more time for modifications, if necessary, before it's time for your rider to try it out. Our goal is to help your rider be successful in learning how to ride a two-wheel bike by removing as many obstacles as possible. Simplifying the bike will allow the rider to focus on the basics of biking. When learning to ride a two-wheel bicycle, the size of the bike is extremely important. Bikes are sized by the diameter of the tire, not the size of the frame. This means that even if bikes are the same size, the frames may vary, causing the rider to fit differently on each bike. The best way to find the right size bike for your rider is to bring them with you when you shop and have them sit on the bicycle. Larger bikes are easier to ride, so your rider should be on the largest bike possible where they can sit on the seat and still have both feet flat on the ground. This fit gives your rider a sense of safety and security, increasing their confidence. Having both feet on the ground also allows your rider to easily learn to stop and start independently. For our purposes, the four sizes of bikes are 16, 20, 24, and 26 inches.
First, let's talk about some features to look for in a 16 and a 20-inch bike. We recommend a single-speed bike with a low-slung frame that allows our riders to easily get on and off the bike. We also want a compact frame, which allows our riders to have an upright riding position, which promotes forward vision. Next, I'm going to talk about the pedal crank. This part right here is our pedal crank, and we want to make sure that it's no higher than 17 inches from the ground at its highest point. As you probably won't have a tape measure with you, a quick way to check this is to compare the height of the tire from the height of the pedal. The tire is 20 inches in diameter, so at its highest point, the pedal should be a few inches below this tire. This is not an issue with a 16-inch bike because it's already so low to the ground. A very common and popular youth bike is a BMX or freestyle bike. These bikes are designed to be ridden by adults standing up, but are marketed to children because they look cool. These are not suitable bikes for someone just learning to ride. Here's why. BMX bikes have a taller frame, which makes it more difficult for riders to get on and off the bike. They also have a longer frame, which causes our riders to lean forward and stretch out, making balance more difficult to maintain. The pedal crank on these bikes is also higher than 17 inches from the ground at its highest point, which causes the rider's feet and knees to come up higher with each rotation. This causes their weight to shift back and forth, making riding much more difficult. It is not uncommon for these riders' knees to hit the handlebars. For all these reasons, a BMX or freestyle bike is quite difficult and frustrating for a new rider. As we mentioned earlier, we recommend a single-speed bike for a new rider. A bike with multiple gears allows the rider to pedal backwards, which can be distracting and frustrating. The gear shifting mechanisms on the handlebars can also be distracting and unsafe for our rider. We recommend coaster brakes and handbrakes for your rider. Coaster brakes engage when the rider pushes their feet backwards instead of forwards. The wheel stops, which stops the bike. We strongly recommend a handbrake attached to the rear tire. Although some of our riders learn the use of coaster brakes or already had the skill coming into the program, the majority of our riders are most successful using handbrakes. We find that separating the gross motor skills of feet always go in one direction to make you go and squeeze with your hands to make you stop provides our riders with an easier way to learn how to stop independently. If your bike has a handbrake added to the front tire, we will disengage it at our iCan Bike program because it is unsafe. Crashes often result when the rider hits the front handbrake. It throws their body weight forward, often over the handlebars. The handbrake attached to the rear tire is much safer. If your bike only has a front handbrake or it does not have a handbrake, check with your local bike shop as they can add a handbrake to the rear tire. To review, the features we want to look for in a 16 and 20 inch bike: a low slung and compact frame, a pedal crank under 17 inches, only for the 20 inch bike, no gears, coaster brakes, and a handbrake to the rear tire. Now let's talk about the features to look for in a 24 and 26 inch bike. We recommend a single speed cruiser style bike. As with our smaller bikes, we recommend a low slung compact frame so our riders can easily get on and off the bike, as well as being in an upright riding posture which promotes forward vision. Again, a single speed bike is the easiest bike to learn on, and most will have coaster brakes. For these larger bikes, we recommend a handbrake as well. A handbrake to the front tire is acceptable on these larger bikes. The reason why is the size of the bike, as well as the weight of the rider positioned further back in an upright riding posture, prevents this from being a safety concern. Mountain bikes are popular 24 and 26 inch bikes, but are not recommended for learning and should be avoided. The frame being high makes it difficult for riders to get on and off the bike easily. The length forces riders to lean forward and reach the handlebars, as these bikes are designed to be ridden down the side of a mountain. Mountain bikes have gears, as we discussed earlier, can be an added frustration and distraction for a new rider. To review, here are the features to look for in a 24 and 26 inch bike: a low slung and compact frame, as in the cruiser style bike, no gears, coaster brakes, and a handbrake to the front or rear tire.
Another feature to consider is bike seats. Seats come in all shapes and sizes, just as our riders come in all shapes and sizes. Don't be shy about asking for a different seat than the one that comes with your bike. Most shops will trade the value of that seat for any other one in their store. In most cases, even after you've taken your bike home and ridden it for a while, you can still bring your seat back and trade it for one that's more comfortable. I can assure you that seat comfort is very important to enjoy riding a bike. Finally, this is a handle. We use these training handles on the back of every bike during our program. This helps staff and volunteers assist your riders while they're learning. If, by the end of the week, your rider still needs assistance, the iCan Bike floor supervisor may recommend adding one of these handles to the back of your rider's family bike. If so, our bike technician can install it for you by Friday of the program. If you choose to purchase a new bike, we strongly recommend those from reputable bike shops. Bike shops offer the best value for many reasons. Staff at bike shops are knowledgeable about bikes and can provide excellent service when selecting a new one. Plus, they're there for you after the sale in case there are problems or you want to make changes to your bike. Most retail stores, such as Walmart or Target, are unable to provide information about the bikes they sell and do not offer maintenance during or after the sale. Bike shop bikes may be more expensive initially, but in the future, when your rider outgrows it, some shops will take that bike as trade-in to offset the cost of a new bike. By the time you make additional modifications to a bike that's not from a bike shop, you may end up paying more for it. Wherever you choose to buy a bike, be sure you understand the return policy. Most of our bike programs have partnerships with their local bike shops, so contact your camp host to obtain the details. All of the tips we make in this video and a list of bikes that meet our recommendations can be found in our website on a document titled Selecting the Right Bike and Helmet.
Ultimately, the amount you spend on a bike will be determined by your own budget. As a general rule, as the size of the bike increases, so will the price. If you follow our guidelines, you can expect to spend around $200 on a 20-inch bike, whereas for a 24 or 26-inch bike, you can expect to spend between $300 and $400. If this is out of your price range, you may be able to find a bike at a retail store between $75 and $200. Depending on your region, these prices may vary.
This video is not a substitution for the parent orientation meeting that will occur prior to the start of iCan Bike Week. At that meeting, you'll learn how the program works, what to expect during the week, and how to help at home. You'll also have a chance to meet the team that will work with your rider and ask any questions.
We hope the guidelines in this video will help you to select the right bike for your new rider. If you're struggling to find the suitable bike for your rider, you can talk to your iCan Shine bike technician at the parent orientation.
Also be sure to check out the bike safety video and helmet fit video on our website.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about the most suitable bike for learning. We look forward to meeting you and your rider at our iCan Bike program.